All right, think about this for a second. You're hundreds of feet in the air, and you're responsible for lifting tons, literally tons, of steel with pinpoint precision, all while a busy construction site is active right below you. I mean, one wrong move, one tiny miscalculation, and the results could be absolutely catastrophic. That's the world of a crane operator, and it begs a huge question. How do we make sure the person in that cab is actually qualified to be there?
Yeah, the responsibility is just immense. You're not just moving a joystick. You're the absolute pivot point for an entire project. Safety, efficiency, it's all being measured in millimeters and seconds. The risk is real, not just for you, but for every single person on the ground.
When the stakes are that high, you can't just cross your fingers and hope for the best, right? There's got to be a standard, some kind of benchmark that proves an operator has the knowledge and the skill to handle all that pressure and power safely. And that benchmark, that industry standard, is the CCO credential. It's issued by the National Commission for the Certification of Crane Operators, or as everyone calls it, the NCCCO. This is basically the industry's answer to that massive question of, are you qualified?
You know, it's so much more than just a piece of paper. Having a CCO certification, it's like a universal signal to employers, to your coworkers. It says, hey, I've met a tough, nationally recognized standard for both the book smarts and the hands-on skills of operating a crane safely.
Now, what's really important here is the credibility behind this thing. The NCCCO isn't some company trying to sell you something. They're an independent nonprofit. And their certification is so well respected that OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, doesn't just recognize it, they actually mandate it. The whole system is designed to cut down on accidents, make job sites safer, and, at the end of the day, open up more job opportunities for operators who've proven they know what they're doing.
So how do you actually get one of these credentials? Well, it's a two-part process, and it all starts with a pretty comprehensive written exam. This is all about testing that foundational knowledge.
And this is not just about memorizing a bunch of facts and figures. The written test is really designed to make sure an operator understands the why behind the how. It's the theoretical bedrock that all safe, real-world operations are built on. So the exam gets broken down into 4 really critical areas. First up, the site. Can you spot unstable ground? Can you identify hazards like power lines? Then, operations. Do you know the universal hand signals? What's the protocol in an emergency? Third is technical knowledge, which covers everything from your pre-op inspections to proper rigging. And finally, and this is a big one, load charts. Can you actually read and use them to calculate a safe lift?
So what's the magic number? To pass the written exam and get to the next stage, you've got to score at least a 70%. That's the minimum.
Okay, so passing the written test proves you know the textbook. But can you actually apply it when you're in the operator's seat? Well, that's exactly what the practical exam is all about.
And this is where the rubber really meets the road. Candidates get evaluated on 6 specific tasks that are designed to feel like a real day on the job. You start with the pre-op inspection, then you move to these precision tasks, like placing a chain in a tiny circle. You've got to follow an examiner's hand signals, place a ball into barrels, navigate a really tight zigzag corridor with a load, and then, finally, perform a proper, safe shutdown.
For the practical, the bar is set just a little bit higher. You need a score of 75 to pass this hands-on test and get your full CCO certification. So, on paper, the whole process seems pretty logical, right? But what does it actually feel like for the person taking the test? Because this is where the official rulebook meets the reality on the ground.
Yeah, because if you talk to a lot of operators, they'll tell you there can be a real disconnect between how the test is designed and the skills they think are most crucial for safety out in the field. And honestly, it leads to a ton of frustration.
This quote I saw from an operator online, man, it just cuts right to the heart of the whole debate. The feeling among many is that the practical exam's super strict time limits can kind of force you to choose between being fast and being precise, a choice that just feels completely backward when you're talking about real-world safety.
And this slide really breaks that tension down perfectly. On one side, you have the candidates who are just beside themselves because they failed by a few seconds, even if their run was perfect, and they can't even get feedback from the proctors on what went wrong, which makes it incredibly hard to study for a retake. But then, on the other side, you have the examiners. They argue that efficiency is a part of safety. A crane that's moving too slow can create its own hazards. And they say they can't discuss the results because they have to protect the integrity of the test from auditors. You can see both sides.
So, despite all the debate, all the frustration, what does this certification really mean for an operator's career in the long run? Because it's not a one-and-done thing, it's an ongoing commitment.
The CCO certification works on a 5-year cycle.
So to keep your certification active, you've got to pass a recertification written exam before those 5 years are up. It's their way of making sure your knowledge is current with any new industry standards or technology.
And trust me, letting that certification lapse is a huge career mistake. I mean, you're immediately disqualified from jobs that require it. You'll probably have to take the full and more expensive written and practical exams all over again. It can really ding your professional reputation and even open you up to more liability risks on a job site.
So the bottom line is pretty clear. Even though the test might have its critics and its challenges, having a current CCO certification isn't just a nice little bonus, it is a fundamental, foundational requirement for having a successful and secure career in this industry. It's truly a non-negotiable asset.
Which really leaves us with this final question to chew on. Is the CCO exam a perfect system? Probably not. But in an industry where the stakes are literally measured in human lives and millions of dollars, is it the necessary system we need to guarantee at least a baseline of safety and skill? That's the question at the very heart of the operator's cap.